The XPS line is back. Dell said, well, sorry, no, we need this back because you guys want it back. And so we're here to find out what it has to offer this year and why Dell brought it back, and also to see how well it performs. So let's go ahead, jump in, and find out what the XPS 14 has in store. Hey guys, Thunder E here, and I have the brand new XPS 14. And it's interesting because last year, Dell took away the XPS line. They had a different naming structure, which I will not go into because I had a hard time dealing with it myself. I'm glad the XPS is back. This is a line that says Dell, that really hits the company's name and the structure for what it does. The XPS 14 is the latest XPS this year. They all do have a 16 as well. And I have to say though, this device is very interesting. It's got that familiar XPS look. Now, this is kind of like this dark silver or silver metallic look to it. XPS logo right in dead center, which is nice. You flip it on the other side of the bottom, you do have the Dell logo underneath, but I do like that very clean look. Feels like a piece of metal, not too heavy, by the way. It's 3 pounds for the variant I have here, but there are some other variants that are lighter in regards. Now, the overall build feels solid and something you can carry around. Feels very business-like, but also very premium as well. Now, in terms of ports, Dell has 2 ports on the left-hand side that are USB Type-C, and then you have one more port that's USB Type-C on the right-hand side with the headphone jack. So that's pretty much it. Now, when you open up the lid, it's a very easy lid to actually just swing it open. Although I will say it's kind of hard to find a little indentation that allows you to flick that, but still easy to open nonetheless. You're greeted with a 2.8K OLED display. Now, you can get a FHD display. This is the highest model I got from Dell. And this also includes 32 gigabytes of RAM for this model I'm using and 1 terabyte of storage, which brings the price up to roughly around $2,399. It's up there, but the starting price for the base model is $1,699. And this device feels really nice. It is comfortable. It's easy to use. You open it up, that keyboard feels really flush. And I think that's something a lot of people will like. Now, when you look at the processor, because there's only one little stamp there, is an Intel Core Ultra 3 processor. This is the X7 358H. Now, this has the Intel Arc processor. So you're looking at some really great performance, and also we should be getting some really good battery life. Now, I've seen some people do some reviews out there and said they've gotten about 20 something hours of battery life on this. For my case, and using Procyon, using this device, for battery life, I got 14 hours and 7 minutes. That also is dependent on the kind of display. I'm using the OLED display, 2.8K, so that might have been run on the full HD. I'm just giving you what I got, but still really solid. I would have liked to see it higher. I'd like to see it closer to about 20 hours, but at 14 hours, this is very usable. You can use it for a long trip. That is not an issue. So with that in mind, and with the processor we have, what kind of performance are we getting, right? What are we getting with this device? This is where I really love the brand new Intel Panther Lake processor, because it really takes advantage of this in the fact that you can do things without being plugged in. Now, I'm not gonna run any benchmarks because you've probably seen benchmarks with this device for this chipset already from many places. And I really don't care about benchmarks like that. I go about performance and what you do. So we start off with Cyberpunk 2077. This is a game that, of course, you know the graphic intensity. You've seen my settings on screen. We're playing at 1080p, and we're getting an average of about 65 frames per second. Can get 70 in some scenes. Heavy firefight stays around 60 to 62. It performs really well. It looks good. And also the audio is very nice. We'll get to the audio in a second, but I want to just spend time on the gameplay. The reason I play games is because that is a nice side tool to showcase how much it actually handles in terms of a device like this. And also I love playing games anyway. And this device really showcases it that well. Now, when we move to Battlefield 6, I'm getting FPS in like 125 or more. Plays really well. And Intel's XeSS 2 and the kind of performance you're getting from it is really, really nice. I definitely like it. And I think a lot of people will enjoy that kind of performance here. The good thing about it is temperatures. While gaming, the highest I got was 100 degrees. And yes, the fan did kick in and it was a bit loud. but it still played well and my temperature stayed low. So I'm fine with that. Now, this is where the speakers come into play, because with the fan noise, you would think that it was too loud to hear a lot of stuff. Now, it's not as crazy as like a gaming laptop in terms of the fan noise, but the speakers, which are, by the way, bottom firing speakers, because you could tell there are no grills on the side of the keyboard or on the sides of the device to actually show speakers, but they're bottom firing. These speakers are damn good. They are really good. They've done a good job here, but I won't even waste your time. I'll let you guys see some gameplay, some YouTube videos, some music to see how well the speaker sounds, and you can make that judgment for yourself.
It's the only company that has it. Now with the micro RGB TVs, everyone has like 110 inch, 115, the larger sizes. Samsung has brought this down to a much smaller size, and
Okay, very nice. I've talked about a lot of good things on this laptop. Size is great at 14 inches. It's pretty light and portable. You've got a great keyboard, great performance, all the things you want. Battery life is decent at 14 hours and 7 minutes, but what are the drawbacks here, right? One of the things I will say is the fact that this thing is a fingerprint magnet, especially around the keyboard. You can see oil stains just from my hand, me of using this device. You're going to get that a lot, so you might want to get a cleaning cloth if that's the case. The other thing also is the price point. To enjoy the kind of performance I have here with the Intel Arc graphics, you have to spend at least $2,100 for this. On the base model, you're not going to get that. And I think that's a bit of a bummer. And, you know, that's something, of course, to do with the memory shortage we're going through and the kind of prices we're getting now. And also the pricing of what the Panther Lake processor is doing currently with many devices. That being said, though, if you are looking for an XPS device, you're one of those people that loves the design, the features, the way it performs, the XPS14 is no slouch, and I think a lot of people like this. I love that display. I love the way it looks. I love the fact that like my wallpapers look really great on there. Videos look really sharp and they come out, they are punchy, all that fun stuff. It looks good, which is something that I think a lot of people like. But let me know what you think, because I think this device is one that shows that Dell knows how to make a good laptop, especially with the XPS line. I'm glad to see it back. I'd like to see some better pricing, but we'll have to wait and see. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and always enjoy your entertainment.